hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
Hey, Jack, this is Mike. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Just getting past this crazy night we had here.
Oh, my God, forget it. It was horrible. I mean, I'm in New York. I'm in Staten Island, so it was bad.
Jeez, you're right here. I'm in Hillsborough.
Oh, okay, yeah, you guys got hit pretty bad, too. But listen, I'm happy that, there's some new music coming out of you right now. It's been a while since we had a new Seven Witches, but, man, with Brothers in Arms, I mean, for people that know you and your music, I think they might be expecting something that's more in the line of Seven Witches. This is completely different, completely opposite. It's got a real hard rock 70s vibe to it with, with stuff that's going on today. I mean, you really put yourself out there, I think, with this record.
Dude, I have to say I love you to death for that because, a lot of people don't know, like, and this is something good to say. The last year and a half, basically, a lot of my friends are like, dude, I'm going to sit around, I'm going to watch Netflix, I'm going to eat Doritos, I'm not even going to pick up my instrument. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's cool, I guess. And for me, nobody probably even knows this yet, but in this last year and a half, I played 90% of the guitar solos on Ronnie Monroe's new record.
Oh,
I don't even know if you...
No.
It's just, you know Ronnie from Metal Church?
Yeah, he's got a new album out. I know that. I didn't know you did all the guitar work on it.
Well, I did 90% of the solos. Kathleen did 2 solos, and Holster did the other. I did the rest of all the solos of that record.
Wow.
I just finished 7 songs for the new Seven Witches record. With James Rivera.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
And I just played on Red Jones for Michael Schenker on his solo record. So I've been literally going crazy. And to be honest with you about Brothers, it all started like this. And I mean, I'll give you if you want the whole background of it, I can give you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people if I say this, but I got to be honest with people. Everybody has me pigeonholed. Jack Frost, the guy that played in Sabotage, the guy that played in Lizzie Borden, or Joey Belladonna, he's a total, metal guy, horns up, and don't get me wrong, dude, that is my heart and soul. I am a metal guy 150%. But, growing up, I was a huge Ronnie Montrose freak. I was a huge Schenker, a huge, believe it or not, Neil Schon and Gary Moore and Blackmore and Rhodes are the guys that I love. And really, Gary Moore is a metal guy. Or, I mean, the first Ronnie Montrose record with Sammy Hagar, that record, to me, is everything, a guitar player should be, like, Kansas. So I've always wanted to make a real rock record. I made a couple of solo records, and there were a few rock songs on there, but, I've been wanting to, I just always love, a Marshall amplifier with a Gibson Les Paul plugged in straight and just go for it. So this all started about a year and a half ago. I just started to compile a bunch of riffs and stuff, and I became really good friends with Carl Wilcox from Diamond Head.
Yeah, the drummer.
It's great, dude. And, like, here's another guy. Oh, he's from Diamond Head. He's the reason Lars plays drums, and he's the reason Metallica. Dude, if you really listen to Carl play, he is John Bonham.
Yeah.
He is, Cozy Powell. Number one, he's British, so a lot of people don't get that. When you're British drummers have a different swing than American drummers. And no disrespect, dude. I mean, all the guys I play with, Johnny Kelly, great player. I mean, Jeff played phenomenal. But there's just something about that swing that I like, Cozy. I think Cozy Powell is my favorite drummer of all times. So I said to Carl, we should really jam and write some songs. He goes, all right. So I would do all my, guitar stuff. I would record stuff. I sent it to Carl, man, and holy crap, dude. He would just make these songs come alive. And he goes, what do you want? I go, I just want you to rock. I just want it to be in your face. And dude, that guy deserves so much respect as a human and player. He's just great. So after I got guitar and drums down. I need to get bass. So I became friends with this guy named Alex Jansen. I was playing guitar for John Beauvoir from, Crown of Thorns, Plasmatics, Kiss fame, and they did this European run, and of course John couldn't take all the Americans, because, dude, you know how it is these days. It's so cost effective and blah, blah, blah. So he used this guy, Alex. So I met Alex at NAMM this year, a couple of years ago, and we go, oh my God, you play with John, I play with John. And it's funny, he played on Ronnie Monroe's record too. So I'm like, hey, you want to lay some bass down? He's like, yeah, man, that would be awesome. Dude, he just killed it. So I just started to compile all these songs, and my friend Charlie Cowles, that plays keyboards for Angel, Shotgun Symphony, and he's also one of the main guys at Decco, a record label.
Yeah.
So Charlie goes, oh, let me play some keyboards, let me write some songs with you. So, dude, here we are with like 7, 8 songs. And I'm like, okay, who are we going to get to sing? So I started to go through my CDs of people I love, like, Andrew Friedman, the first single, Last to Know. Hey, cut me off if you want to ask me questions, dude. I don't shut up.
No, it's all right. I love hearing the story.
It's like a lot of people go, you know what? I'll just hit record, and I'll just write the article up after you don't shut up after an hour. I'm like, all right. So I just thought I'd give you the rundown. It's just easier to like tell you how it went. You know what I mean, brother? And
Yeah.
So Andrew Friedman has been my friend for 20 years. We played NAMM jams together. I've seen him play with Lynch Mob. I've seen him play with Hurricane. He's seen me play with Sat. We're just old friends. I'm like, hey man, I got some songs. We've always been joking around. We're gonna do something together. I send him songs. He sends me back these melody lines. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is incredible. And that's how like the songs became with Andrew. And then Keith St. John is, I'm sorry, the greatest rock singer out there today.
Yeah.
He's just great. I mean, if people don't know him, he's in Burning Rain, Kingdom Come. He was in the last carnation of Montrose. He should be up there with Steven Tyler.
Very underrated.
You know what, dude, he is, and I hope this record gets him more known because he's great. So I did the Montrose Bash about a year and a half ago, and I'm like, dude, we got to do something together. He goes, hell yeah. So I sent him, like, the song Pitch is Crazy. Like, again, it had no lyrics, had no words, nothing. He's like, dude, don't touch anything. This is like old Van Halen. Where'd this come from? And, and that's kind of how it happened. Guys like Todd Poole from Roxy Blue. My God, I just set these guys' lifts, and they just killed it. I just want everyone to know. Todd, Jesse from Silent Rage, got Nick Walsh from Slick Toxic and Moxie, another great Canadian artist that people need to look at. I got Paul Shortino to do it. That's the godfather of the LA Strip.
Yeah, Paul's a great guy.
Great guy, amazing singer. Dude, the list goes on. Like, I literally started to go to people that I loved. Like, and, people are not familiar with Steve Overland, but he's from the UK, and he's in this huge band called FM, and he's like the second coming of, Lou Graham. So I literally sent these songs out to every one of these guys, and they should get all the recognition. I had nothing to do with it. They wrote their parts. They wrote their melody lines. I never told one of those guys what to do. So I just want people to know that. Like, they think, oh, it must be like working with me. I'm a dictator. It's my band. This is not my band. This is our band. Everybody, every single piece of music and instrument is their own doing. I kind of said to them, hey, just be yourself. And, some of the songs, like some of the Andrew songs, I had that Lynch sound in the back of my mind. And, the songs that Todd Poole did, I literally thought of that Memphis, Nashville kind of slide guitar, kind of dirty, raspy kind of vocals. And, Keith was just like, here's Robert Plant meets Steven Tyler. you know, that's what I thought when I think of Keith.
Yeah, incredible. You know, Steve Overland, FM, I believe they used to be Wildfire before they were FM, and he actually wrote Shot in the Dark, the real version of it, before Phil
Simpson. You're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody would know that.
Yep.
Nobody would know that. They'd be like, who? I'm like, yeah, you don't even realize. Yeah, because Phil says Phil was a part of that.
Yeah, and he took it over to Ozzy with him, but that was really Steve, and I think his brother was in the band with him too back then.
Yeah, they still have the band Overland.
Yeah.
His brother's a great guitar player, man.
Great musician, and I love that, you know, when, like it says, a lot of these people you didn't really work with before. Maybe you knew them, you heard about them, you know. So when you get all together, you know, it's got to be kind of difficult in a way, putting everything together. But I know, like you said, things came back to you, and you were like, damn, this is incredible. But did anything come back to you from somebody who just said, I don't like this, I can't use it, or were you able to work with every part that everybody came up with?
You know what, man? No, not one. Every guy was like, to me, I said this in another interview, I'm going to repeat myself, but I felt like I was 5 years old, and I went in my mom and dad's room, and I woke them up on Christmas morning,
yeah,
and I ran downstairs, and I saw I got the whole new Star Wars toy set. Like, it was a pleasure. And I mean, dude, a lot of these guys are my friends, like, and I just got to be honest, people like, how did you get Dave Amato from REO Speedwagon? I go, Dave's one of my best friends in the whole world. And I think sometimes people think I like to name drop. Like, but dude, you know what? I'm not that guy. I'm not a rock star.
You're a fan more than anything else. I'm
a fan that, for some reason, people like my guitar playing. They like my songwriting. And I mean, these are just guys that I hang out with. Dude, Dave's in one of the biggest AOR bands of all times. We go and get coffee at Starbucks and hang out. That's what we do. We're friends.
Yeah.
And Mick Mahan from Pat Benatar, we've been friends for 30 years. He's like, dude, you should have made me play more bass on it. I mean, there are guys that I wanted. I mean, I got to be honest with you, man. I reached out to Bruce from Hurricane Alice.
Yeah.
I love Bruce. He just has some personal stuff going on, and he's like, Jack, I love what you sent me. He goes, I just don't, right now in my life, I just can't do it. And I understood, and like, to be honest with you, dude, I reached out to one of my favorite singers is Ron Young from Little Caesar. He's like, Jack, I'm in the studio with 4 other bands right now finishing tracks. He's like, I want to do this, but I don't want to give you something that you will be happy with. And these are guys that are pros that are just honest to me. Like, they were just awesome. They were just like, please remind, you know, and then, you know this guy, Nathan Unst?
No, it sounds familiar, but I don't think I know him.
He was in the band in the 80s called Blondes, B-O-L-N-Z. Now he's singing in this new band called Resistant, and Resist, and hang on, I'll tell you the name. It's with Tommy Schiacci.
Oh, I know what you talk. Oh boy, not Resistant Control.
Resistant. Yeah, I feel terrible because I love the few songs I heard. I'm trying to find it. Hang on, I'll tell you. They deserve to be. I don't want to like leave out their name because, you know, Resistant Bite.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he's a great singer, and he was in the middle of making that record. He's like, let me see if I can find a couple of days. I'm like, dude, it's okay. Like, I honestly, dude, and I want people to know this. There was no money. There's no money. Like, a lot of these guys, you know, they were just being honest, man. They're like, well, I'm doing this because I surely love what you wrote. So people should know that, man. None of these guys were getting $5,000 a song and doing it. They really did this because they believed in the record. That's pretty amazing, dude. These guys don't need to be on this record.
It's great that they did it. And you know what? It gives you the people that you weren't able to get for this one that you still want to work with. It just gives you another reason to go and write more music and put out more records like this. I mean, doing something like this. I mean, you know, go to Seven Witches, which is like, you know, the primary band that everybody knows. I mean, multiple lineup changes over the decades, and that's what happens in music. Either people don't get along, they don't want to do it no more, they can't commit. There's a million different reasons why bands, can't keep members in there, especially today compared to like back in the 80s. But with something like this, you really don't have to worry about, a steady lineup. Is this singer going to be there for the next record? Am I going to fight with this guy? You pick and choose who you want to play with, who you want to work with. I think it creates more magic that way sometimes.
Yeah, dude, I don't get the whole thing. And I got to tell you, and nothing against Keith or Andrew, like they're not talking about anybody or Todd. They're not talking about people they play with. But they did say to me they really enjoyed, like, I'm not an egomaniac. Like, and nobody, I'm not saying anybody they work with are egomaniacs. I'm just saying, you think someone like me would send them songs and I'd be like, no, this is how it's got to be. They were like, dude, it was just, they were just so happy that I really just wanted them to be them. And that's really what it is. I don't get how these guys, dude, Keith came at me a few times just about, like, we're working on the videos. No, I need this, I need that. And he's like, Jack, it's really a pleasure that you didn't take me as, like, I'm trying to narrate you or be your boss. You took it as respectable criticism. And my thing is, like, everything we were doing was only respectable for each other. Like, hey, I think you should try this. It's not to say I'm better than you or I know better than you. It's, don't you want to make it the best that you could possibly make it? Like, well, hang on a second. Don't use that one. I'm sorry, man. My son just walked in.
It's all right.
My bathroom's flooded a little bit, so I don't want him to go in there. I feel truly that it's nice to hear from people that it was a pleasure and not a hardship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it is your thing, and you kind of are guiding the ship, so you got to give some direction too. And I know what you're saying. You're not like a dictator with it, but you still have to be in control of the situation because it is your thing in the end.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, not to take away what you said, it's not mine. It's all I could not have done this, dude, without those guys, and everyone needs to know that. I'm really tired of hearing about projects. Projects are kind of put together, and record labels do that. I mean, I'm very blessed, dude. People ask me, what made you sign with Decco and not Frontiers or Golden Robot? They all had interest. I went with Decco because, number one, they care about the artist, and they're artist-friendly. They're like, this is your song. We're not going to tell you what to change. And they give a shit about their people. And, it's great that my keyboard player runs the label, too. And he was like, dude, you should really give this a shot. And that's another thing. I have the greatest home for this, man. They believe in us so much. They hired so many great people for videos and Chipster for PR and the art guy, Lee. I mean, it's such a family project.
That's important. I know Charlie Calf had a band a little while ago. I forgot the name of it. Radio.
Well, he was in originally. He was in Shotgun Symphony.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you remember them. They were more like a late '80s band. They were on Now and Then. They came out like when 10 came out and Crown of Thorns came out.
Yeah, no, I got some of the records. On the Line of Fire I have. There was a live record from London.
It's so good.
But he played in a band called Radio Frequency or something not long ago.
Oh, yeah. With, I think Russell Allen. Well, not Russell Allen. Russell Arcara from Prophet.
I think so. It was like a 3-piece band or something. I can't. It was
really
good
in
record.
A lot of things, dude. Like he was in that. He was in The Way with Russell. I mean, he plays keyboards for Angel now, right?
Yeah.
He's great, dude. He's so good, dude.
And it's good that he's on the label and is part of the project. I know he's also the Bronx Cancer Company, which you're also involved in. You guys, got that going on too. And it's nice to have somebody that's involved with the label because I think they'll make more of an effort, like to get this out there for people to hear.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, and honestly, it also means that they all know, like Bruce and the guys at the label, Bruce and Alan Dutchess. They know that I will push it, and the guys will push it. I mean, and I just got to get this in, man. My friend Jeff from Canyon Music in Asbury, he's out in Toms River area, but he has a studio in Toms River, New Jersey called Canyon Music. Please look him up. He produced this with me. He mixed the whole record. Dude, he spent 13, 14 hours a day on this record, and this record would not be half as good as it is if it wasn't for Jeff.
It does sound great. I mean, I can't wait. What is it? September 24th is the official day. I know you got one song out now. There's another one coming out, I think, next week. Little samples, but the full record is on the 24th, I believe.
Yeah, have you heard, have you seen the first video?
I saw the first video. For Last to Know, yeah.
I mean, dude, is Andrew not ridiculous? Is he not ridiculous on it?
Yeah, it is. His voice fits in with the song so perfectly. What else is he on? Is he on any other songs besides that one?
Yes, he's also on. Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. It's hard to remember all the. I mean, I hate to say that. I feel like I should be a little bit more prepared with, but it's so hard to, so many songs. Hang on, I can tell you what else he's on. He's on. Where is it? Oh, Ties That Bind. Okay. Wait till you hear this song. I mean, whoa, dude. There's this little bridge piece that is like 30 seconds. And when you hear this little section, it's going to take you and go, oh my God, it just grabbed me. And I mean, wait till you hear the next single, Bitch Is Crazy.
Yeah.
Keith singing on that song and also the song Make You Mine. Dude, oh my God. I mean, it's hard to say what every song has this hook. You're gonna get roped in, dude. You're gonna get roped in. And Charlie made a really good point. When we first talked about this, he goes, will each song be cohesive with a different singer? Will it flow into each other? Will it be weird? And I gotta tell you, man, you don't notice it. It almost like the stars align and every song follows.
That's impressive because the group of singers that you have are so different, each and every one of them, and the way they sing, the bands they play in. I mean, Paul Shortino, one of my favorite singers, been with King Cobra for a while. He does that rock show in Vegas. Deep, raspy, bluesy type voice. And even when he played with Quiet Riot at that time, people hated that record, but I loved it because he was on it.
Dude, Stay With Me Tonight is ridiculous.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it. I love that guy. When he was a kid, Paul Shortino, when I was a kid, used to get those record players that folded up in a box and you plugged them in with a little plastic needle in there. You used to get the K-Tel records, like from Corvette or Kmart. I bought a single called, that was the name, JoJo and something, JoJo and Mary or something. And I put it on, I'm playing it. And years later, I'm interviewing Paul Shortino, and he's talking about that band. And I was like, I had that 45, like 1973. He was like a little kid. And he sang on his 45, JoJo and Mary or something. And I couldn't believe it.
Wow, I didn't even know. Well, I want to tell you something. The song he sang on is called My Heart Knows. And get ready for... I'm going to say this. This is pretty high to say, but get ready for Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, he approached it. You know that, like, stay with me, well, he approached it more like that, but with more of his Robert Plant swagger. Oh, my God, dude. And I want to let you know something. I was talking to Carmine Appice because we became really good friends. I was really close to joining King Cobra. I started to write some songs for King Cobra, and this song was one of the songs that would have been on the King Cobra record, but it kind of fell, and this is going to be on it's on the Brothers record, so this song might have been on the new King Cobra record. Isn't that funny?
Wow. It's amazing how things, connect in life. Things that you don't expect to know about, then they're like, wow. It is incredible, and what I love is that people are going to, I think, hear a whole different side of you. I mean, even though you've played in a lot of different bands over the years or been a part of different projects that all kind of have their own thing. It was somebody else's thing. But this is like, like I said, I know it's a group effort and it's not just yours, but I think people are going to hear a different side of Jack Frost and what he's all about. And they're going to be really surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people, and this was a very nice compliment. Like, they're like, honestly, don't get mad when we say this. We like your Wishes stuff. We like the Casket stuff. But we never knew you could solo like this. I go, what do you mean like this? They're like, it's different. It's very, you're like, your solos are on, like they're on fire. Like, and a lot of people say my sound is different. Well, it is. It's got that rock approach. And people that don't know, I can play like that Van Halen, that, you know, and don't take this wrong. I am not Van Halen. I am not Ronnie Montrose. Those guys are icons. I'm just a pimple on their ass. But a lot of people were like, dude, you really, this has got a very George Lynch feel, a very Jakey Lee. I heard Matthias Jabs from Scorpions. I'm like, just to be even mentioned in those names, I'm just like, thanks. I just hope people really notice I really gave all I had on this one.
Oh, they will, believe me. You know, like in the beginning when we started talking, you had to explain that, you're a metalhead, it's your love, it's your passion. But I think a lot of people don't realize, people from our generation, we grew up before there really was a heavy metal scene. I mean, you had Sabbath in the early days and Deep Purple and bands like that, but they weren't even considered heavy metal back in the early 70s and mid 70s. It wasn't like, the late 70s where that term started getting really used big and people would know. But we came from a generation where we grew up listening to rock.
I mean, dude, if you listen to the first Judas Priest record, Rock and Roller,
yeah, not metal at all.
That's a rock record.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I know you got to be a Y&T fan.
Absolutely.
I mean, dude, before yesterday and today, they were literally playing the clubs in Van Halen. They were sharing the stage with Ronnie, and that's where they all come from. I mean, Sabbath. I mean, dude, Sabbath was a blues band.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, it's just this whole thing, everything's, metal. It's like, it's really based off of rock chords, it's blues based. So, I just don't think people really like, I mean, even if you listen to Old Maiden, dude, like, yeah, they were just ahead of their time with their riffs, but, it still was, it was still a rock approach.
Oh, absolutely. Something I'm even more excited about, you just got back from Europe playing with the Seven Witches.
Oh, yeah. The Alcatraz, dude, it was amazing.
James Rivera, when I heard he was, I mean, you've always had great singers in the band, from Bobby and on, but when I heard James was back in the band, I was like, damn. I said, I hope there's going to be new music. Now you said you're working on new songs. I don't know if James is going to be a part of that. I hope so.
Oh, no. We about 2 years ago, we got back together. We would have done a lot more, dude, but unfortunately, COVID hit. And we did the 70,000 Tons cruise, was amazing. We did we did the Cleveland Metal Festival, and then we unfortunately we couldn't take our drummer and bass player to Europe this time because it was just we were the only American band on this festival.
Yeah, I can imagine. Nobody can get over there.
Nobody can get over there. So we used my bass player from Brothers in Arms. And then he knew this bass player, a drummer named H. He's in a band called SOS with his three brothers. Oh my God, this kid's like 30 years old, and he's like Scott Travis, dude. Like meets Portnoy. So we get there. I mean, we rehearse in Germany. We go to Belgium, and the crowd went crazy for us, man. They videotaped the whole thing. There's a live stream on Alcatraz, the whole concert. And I got to see, Johnny D and Nick Douglas from Doro. Got to see the Uno show. I got to see one of my favorite bands, Eclipse. It's kind of funny. I was talking to the singer and the guitar player, and they just released a new video yesterday. And shit, I'm in the video. I was cracking up.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it must be great to get out and play like that again.
Wait till you hear the new Witches record. Don't get me wrong. I love Alan Tecchio. I love Anthony. They are just the most amazing singers. But you know what, dude? I think I took Witches in a different direction, and I think some of the fans got mad on that. I mean, some of the stuff with Alan is definitely got a nonfiction feel, because I just love nonfiction. So I think a lot of that kind of... And Anthony's more of a rock guy, and I think what we needed to do was go back to that old school Judas Priest kind of, Seven Witches sound. And I promise you, get ready for that sound.
I know it's going to be killer. I know, one of the things they're famous for the band is always putting a unique cover on every record. Sometimes they're outrageous. New record going to have one on there?
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's a UFO song.
Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to know. I like the surprise still. I don't want to know everything before I get it. I like that surprise of getting something, not knowing anything about it until you hear it for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Well, just gotta remember, man, we approached it differently. You're never going to sound like Phil, but James just made it James,
Yeah.
He's just got a way of making it so friggin' cool.
I was happy. Like you said, all the singers you've had over the years have been great, but there's something about James Revere, maybe because I'm a big Hellstar fan, and having you back with you again, I'm looking forward to that. You think it's going to be this year or maybe next year?
You know what, dude, here's the problem. We talked to the label. It won't be till, after the new year. It's just, the problem is Massacre, AFM, they're all backlogged now because you're talking a year of records not coming out.
Yeah.
So, they had to change the release date for Hellstar. So I'm going to say March, April, because we're pretty much 80% done with the record, but we just got to find the right place to put it in, time-wise.
No, I hear you. But Brothers in Arms, is it something you could actually go out and do live, like one-offs here and there, maybe with the, a local
we already talked about going out to L.A., doing 5 shows and, play Vegas, play L.A., play San Diego, play Phoenix. What's cool is Jesse Damon's out there, Andrew's out there, Keith's out there, and Sharantino's out there. So we could go out there and do a 90-minute set, and then get Sharantino to do a Rough Cut song, do a Quiet Riot song, get Keith to do, everyone would do the songs on their record, and then we would do a song from their history. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome?
That would be great. I was going to say, did you ever think about doing that, for yourself? Because, you've got such a catalog of so many different bands. Have you ever thought about throwing, one of those special lineups together and going out and doing everything throughout your career?
That would be so much fun because, I had a cover band called the Frost Coalition, and we did we started the whole Brave World and Bloody Knuckles Stream of Revengeance, and we had almost 40,000 views playing cover songs. So we're can you imagine going out there with this and doing we've done a Sabotage song, we've done, I would do everything, anything I was even just a part of, I would do an Anthrax song because of Belladonna, I would do a David Lee song, but that would be cool. But I think first what I should do is really try to do a couple of Brothers in Arms shows, and then on the East Coast I could get guys like Nick Walsh from Canada, and even for my solo records, I had Ted Poley, I had Harry Hess from Harem Scarum. Get those guys to come over here and maybe do a New York show or Jersey show.
Yeah.
Maybe a Toronto show, a Buffalo show. So, we really could do it, man. We really could do it. But again, the way numbers are right now, it's so scary to go out there and play. Tours are getting canceled. Kiss, Stanley got COVID, then Simmons got COVID.
Yep.
Aria Speedwagon had to cancel shows. It's just a shit show, man.
I thought we'd get better this year. Things would start picking up again when you started hearing tours announced and bands actually getting up on stage. It was okay, we're finally, we're here now. The clubs in New York started opening again for shows, and then it just went to shit again, just like that. And eventually, we got to move on from this thing and start getting back to things.
No, Dead Daisies start their East Coast tour. I can't wait to go see Doug because we're really good friends. I hope to get to see the show. I have passes for Tesla. Will that happen? Who knows, man? Who knows, the way it is?
I know. It's all potluck. But I'm hoping that you can put something together, especially here on the East Coast, man, because I need to see you guys live.
Oh, we will. It'll happen. It's just a matter of when, people can come here and fly, and, it might be, people have to understand, it may not be the drummer and bass player from the record, because it's just hard to get guys from France they're not even allowed to come here.
Yeah, it's true. But I don't think people really mind if they're seeing you and you got another band behind. They want to hear the music. It seems like it doesn't matter today who's in the band anymore. People just go out and sing.
But you know what? You gotta have those singers, man.
Yeah.
Those singers are too important. I mean, kids dude, I love Sean McNabb. I love Blas Elias. I mean, we could go out there. I mean, we could use. Oh God, there's so many great players out in LA. I mean, I could even get Johnny Kelly to come out and do Brothers. He's such a rock player, and there's guys out in LA. So Keith could put the backup band together, and I would just get the singers. Those guys don't need practice. They're so fucking good.
Yeah, it's true. New album, Sunset and Clark. I guess it's near the whiskey.
Yeah, that was the whole concept, man. Like, when I told it to Charlie, he goes, "That's a great idea."
Yeah. People wouldn't know that unless they know the club and know the area.
Well, that's what the cover. If you look at it, you see the whiskey right there.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Man, it was kind of like a take back at, in the 80s when everybody was up there putting flyers up, and I was going to GIT. It was just, it was the greatest hangout time, dude.
Yeah.
East Coast, I mean, you go to the Cat Club in New York. It was, come on, dude. The Limelight.
Yep.
It was such a great time. L'Amour's.
It's true. Back then, I mean, especially Lemoore, because I grew up in Brooklyn, 5 minutes away from there, so I lived in that place from the early 80s on until the end of the decade. I mean, there was like there was like such a vibe. Like, you went there, you knew everybody knew each other. You didn't care what band was playing. I mean, you always wanted to see your favorite bands when they finally came to town, especially in the 80s when a lot of bands got here for the first time from over in Europe. But you just went there when there were local bands playing you never heard of before because you wanted to hear new music. And you wanted to become a fan. I mean, T.T. Quick played all the time before that record's out. Bands like Carnival, bands like Blessed Death, they played non-stop. Nobody knew who they were. They had no albums out. But that's how you found all your new music. That's what's missing, I think, today, is that when you go to a club today, they just want you in, buy a couple of beers, and get out the door. It doesn't have that same, family vibe, when you went and hung out.
It's all about how many likes you got on Facebook, or, it's this. It's like, dude, you bring up a great point. So I lived in Jersey City. We used to take the train, or we drive into L'Amour's, and we stay there for the weekend.
Yeah.
We just stay there because you would have bands like, I remember seeing Y&T 2 nights in a row. You would have, Teacher's Pet or Child's Play from Baltimore come up. Who's these cool bands? I mean, dude, it was great. It was great.
It was, and I will never get back to it. I live with the memories and I love it, but I'm glad that a lot of guys are still here playing today. Especially yourself. And I'm not going to keep you, Jack. But this new record is absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for people to finally hear it. A couple more weeks, the 24th, it'll be out, and you got a new song coming out next week. People get to sample a second song off the record. You did a great job in this, man. And I hope that you keep this going for a lot of years with a lot of different players, and just keep putting out that music, because this is where it all started to me, and I love hearing it again.
Dude, thank you for making my week, man. I mean, you're like the fifth person that I've talked to that said the same thing, and I'm kind of blown away because it started in my basement at the worst time in our country's ever, depressing, and to come out with a record like this and to hear people like you say this, I don't know what to say, man. I'm just so happy. It's really nice. Thank you, man. I hope the fans buy it because it's not about that. It's just that I want people to hear this record. They got to hear this record, and they got to see, music is fun. It really is. Don't be so pissed off at the world. Enjoy this. You can say bitch, okay? It doesn't have to be fucking politically correct all the time.
That's right. I love it. I'm glad that you put out such a bitch.
And honestly, wait till you see the video. We're going to get our heads handed to us. Trust me.
But that's all right.
All I can tell you is, dude, when you see a fucking hot chick licking a lollipop, get ready for us to get what the fuck?
Hey, rock is not supposed to be safe.
It's supposed to be fun, dude.
That's right. Rock is dangerous. That's the way made it famous, and people forgot about that. Everybody's being too politically correct, but I'm glad you're not. I'm looking forward to this record coming out, Jack, and I can't wait to see you guys live. I hope it happens sometime this year.
Hey,
with one thing or another.
Sorry to ask you this. When's this interview come out? Is it a podcast, or how's it?
Yeah, it'll be put up, I don't know, I lost track of the days. Saturday, I'm going to put this up.
That's awesome. Can you, would you, not to be a pain, dude, I love to know about this stuff because we love to post it on our Facebooks, and we love people to hear this because people seem to, sit home now and listen to stuff a lot more.
Yeah.
So, just let me know when it's posted. I would love to link it up to my Brothers in Arms thing, and
absolutely.
I would love to, my girlfriend's really good at posting stuff, too.
No problem. If this is just so, I'll text you everything on here when it's up.
Dude, you're the best, man. I really appreciate that. And it's good for you, too, man, because, we help each other out, People get to know about your site, too, and, it's good. It's good, man. We all got to pitch in today.
Absolutely. That's the only way to do it. Everybody's got to support. It's always been that way. People forget that
It's like tape trade. Remember when you used to trade tapes to your friends?
Yep.
Oh, man, that was so fun.
I still got all mine. 2,000 tapes.
Yeah, you still want the record. You still wanted to have the record, you know?
That's what I said. People talk like when Laws was going off on Napster back then. I get what he was saying, and I kind of agree in a way, but, your band got to where they were by people trading your music and giving it away before an album came out, obviously. I get that, but like you says, when I was a kid, my friend would give me a record on tape that he recorded for me, said, you got to check this out. I loved it. I kept the cassette, but I went out and bought the record because I wanted to hear it in my house. I never was like,
that's the thing. You wanted the record because you wanted to look at the cover.
Yep.
I wanted to see, this is why I play Gibson and Marshall, because the back of the Kiss records, Kiss plays Gibson and Marshall because it's the best. You just read stuff like that. Who produced this? Oh, wow, who did that? It's just cool.
Absolutely. The producers, some of the producers were just as famous as the bands back then. You saw Martin Headmaster Birch with Iron Maiden and Tom Allen, and you knew these names like they were members of the band.
I mean, dude, you think of all the 80s records like Bo Hill, Michael Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the guy that produced Foreigner and Mutt Lange, Def Leppard, he's more popular than the band sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. That's how they were back then. They were rock stars themselves.
Yep.
Incredible. And Jack, listen, you be safe out there, and I'm looking forward to talking again. Maybe when the Seven Witches comes out, we'll do this again, and we'll...
Dude, please call me anytime. Text me. I'm always... maybe I'll see you at a show. Maybe go to see Tesla in a couple of weeks. Or
I am going to Tesla. I'm hoping that it takes place, but I am going if it's on.
Are you going to New York?
Yes.
What is it, Irving Plaza?
Irving Plaza.
I'll see you there. Make sure you smack me in the head.
You got it, buddy. I'll see you then.
All right, see you soon, brother.
Take care, Jack. Bye-bye.
Bye.